Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope you're all well. And I just wanted to give a little update into how I'm doing. I started my Tamoxifen about 10 days ago now. And I just wanted to explain a little bit about what the Tamoxifen is. So it's basically a 5 to 10 year treatment for breast cancer that is estrogen positive and or progesterone positive. I have both the estrogen and the progesterone positive type. And it's for primary breast cancer. And I have the booklet here with me. So I'm just going to talk you through it a little bit as to where I've disappeared to. So I was put on this. There's a really amazing thing in the UK where when you're diagnosed with cancer, you have to be treated within a certain amount of time. So I think, I forget, I think it's from diagnosis to treatment, there's a very small window. And because they were doing more tests on me and waiting for results and all of that, it was a little bit prolonged. So I'm not sure, but my theory is that's why they started me on this earlier than other people, really, in the sense of they wait until usually after your operation before you're started on this. So they put me on this before my operation, but I had to come off before I actually had surgery because it can cause blood clots and things like that. So I had the experience of going on it, but remember, I have been very sick for the last few months, since probably last summer it was starting. I was feeling not great, kind of late summer, and so then when I was diagnosed and I was waiting for stuff and it was winter and then I started on this. I suppose I just thought the tiredness and everything was cancer. The tiredness was stress and anxiety, which 100% I had. But anyway, after the operation, which thanks be to God was completely successful, they started me back on the Tamoxifen. Now, just to say, the what you call them, where they cut, God, this is one of the symptoms is memory loss, but so where the incisions are, the incision on my actual breast, which took out the lump in my breast, is unbelievable. They glue it together and the line is so perfect. It's unbelievable. It's so fine. It's long. It's about that length. And then the other one under my arm for the lymph nodes, that's a little bit jagged. That had leaked, and not leaked, but had bled a few times and everything else. It's a little bit, but they glue that as well. So that's healing nicely now as well. There was something kind of hard and I thought it might have been a stitch that they left in, but there's no stitches, it's glue. So it must be a hard piece of glue. I was trying to think this morning. So hopefully that'll go. I'm not really in pain. The pain's almost gone there. So I'll just get back to the Tamoxifen for a moment. So it's to reduce the risk of the breast cancer coming back. So basically, the breast cancer was caused by estrogen, the estrogen attacking the cells that and then it turns to cancer or whatever. So you take it as a tablet. I take it every day, and it says you take it for different periods of time. It's usually 5 years. It could be up to 10 years. And then you've got the side effects, and everyone's different, right? But the most common side effects would be menopausal symptoms. So, everyone knows the menopausal symptoms, which is the hot flushes. It's funny, here it says flushes, which is what I say, and everywhere on YouTube it says flashes, hot flashes. I say hot flushes. Night sweats, sleep disturbance, I've all this. And then you have things like loss of sex drive, which I wouldn't know about, mood changes, 100% headaches, and then you've vaginal irritations such as dryness and itching. So I have to say I've got the hot flushes, sleep disturbance. I have mood changes and I have headaches, but I have absolute fatigue that would knock you out. So then fluid retention is another one. And then you've got tamoxifen belly, which I've put on so much weight since I came, here to Scotland. But it's because, firstly, I'm not in the gym. Secondly, I just sat in eating. Then I got really stressed and anxious. I came anxious and stressed because of leaving my mother. And so excuse me, so I've put on almost 2 stone. So, I really have to look into that. So the tamoxifen can make you very hungry, causes indigestion or nausea. The last few days since I've been on it, first 2 days were fine, and then the nausea, like waking up in the morning feeling really, really sick, and then the indigestion, like cramps in your stomach, and then at night the burning, the heartburn. There's effects on bone health as well, so it can cause osteoporosis. So the bone health, thinning of the bone, basically. Extreme tiredness, I have that. Skin rash, don't have that. Effects on the womb, so it can cause womb cancer, and I've had to go for a test because I had cramps and everything else, and that was about 10 weeks ago. So I have another couple of weeks for those results to come back. So it can cause that. That would have been very quick. I'd have to be taking this a very long time, I'm sure, for that to creep up. Change to hair or facial hair. My hair has gone so thin, to the point that I was looking at, not that I look in any way remotely like her, but I really think Pamela Anderson is absolutely beautiful. I love her. I've always liked Pamela Anderson. She's been through a lot in her life. The documentary is amazing, by the way, about her. I always liked her because she lived in LA. She had lovely skin. She said she only used, coconut oil. She's vegan. She doesn't drink. She doesn't smoke. She's just, I think she's lovely, and she's always been very open and honest and stuff like that. And down to earth. And I loved the documentary. It just made me completely fall for her. As a person, I just love her. Her and Brigitte Bardot, I absolutely adore as well. So she, I was looking at her recently, and she's, gone with no makeup and all of that. And people have their own interpretation of that, or what they think about it, their opinion. But her hair, I was saying, I use the same hair color as her because of her. I was like, ooh, but her hair was kind of not in great shape, so she cut it recently, and she looks amazing. I think she looks amazing. But anyway, I definitely need to cut my hair, because this thins your hair, and all the hormonal changes that I've been going through in the last few years has thinned my hair, and it hasn't come back. I stopped colouring it all through COVID. I never put a colour in it. And it went dark, and it had kind of these strange highlights in it because of the sun and everything, and people thought I'd actually put highlights in it, but it was really nice and everything. But then even my mum said, Niamh, will you go blonde again? I'd been blonde my whole life, so I did, but it wasn't enough to stop just the colour. It just got thin. I have an underactive thyroid as well, so that's kind of what happened there. And then it says facial hair. Let's hope I won't be starting to grow beards and moustaches, but God only knows, right? Change to vision. There is definitely a change to vision. Sorry, there's my little teddy there. There's a change to vision, and you can develop cataracts. And I have had pains in my eyes. I was on this for a few weeks so I did have these things, and now, it's not too bad. Changes to the liver. Now, I did not know this until I Googled something last night, and it can cause liver damage. Fabulous. So then the other ones, changed to their singing voice. Some women who's changed it. My God, my singing voice changed many years ago. God, I actually think I did have an okay singing voice, and now I don't. I actually go through phases. Sometimes I sing in the car and I actually sound okay, and then other times it's like a frog. I don't know why that is. Joint pains, 100%. I have fibromyalgia. I have an underactive thyroid, and so the joint pains are coming back because the HRT helps with that, and because I had to stop the HRT, so the HRT completely helped my joint pains, helped my sleep, deprivation, helped so many things, and now obviously I had to stop the HRT, and now this is blocking the estrogen, this particular tablet. So difficulty concentrating, I'm back to forgetting words, headaches and leg cramps at night. Blood clots, so there's blood clots, and then there's a lot of things like herbal things and stuff you can't take with it. Like, so for example, like chamomile tea, you wouldn't realize that. Chamomile tea, grapefruit, which is quite popular with a lot of medication. So, it's kind of, it's an amazing, like, you can look at videos, or you could look at leaflets, and some are so pro tamoxifen, some are not. And then I actually did say to my cancer nurse, I said, when she contacted me, I said, can I change? Of course, I'd done a bit of research, but she said that tamoxifen blocks estrogen only in the breasts, whereas with the rest of the body, it doesn't, whereas the others block the estrogen being made in the ovaries. So there's no estrogen. So she said it is better. And it's just some people, my surgeon said to me, or my consultant, she said, take it for 6 months. If it's unbearable, stop. That's what she said to me. She said, a lot of people stop after a few months if they can't bear it. And it's all about, kind of quality of life, really. So this is to kind of give me 5 years clear of this coming back. It's not 100% effective. It's 55 or something percent or something. I don't know, but this will hopefully help it not come back, because the estrogen will be about this particular type of cancer. After the 5 years and you stop taking it, which I've questioned so many doctors about, I've looked it up, then the risk of it coming back again is there. It's really weird, very strange. So anyway, I need to take thirst is another one, and teeth. It'll wreck your teeth. So I had to go to the dentist a couple of weeks ago, and I told them, these two guys, one was Irish actually, the dentist, young guy, and I said to him, I'm starting tamoxifen, I said, in a couple of weeks. And the nurse, who's also a guy, looked, and they both went, oh, we'll have to really keep an eye on your teeth. So what it does is it makes you very thirsty, dry mouth at night, all the rest, which can cause bacteria. And then you've got the bone density thing as well going on. So anyway, I was in hospital yesterday getting an x-ray on my shoulder. So my shoulder I had frozen shoulder for 3 years. This shoulder has probably saved my life, because of the pain in my shoulder, it really made me get my lump checked. And because the pain was so bad running down my arm and under my arm and everything, when I was told by medical professionals there is no lump, we don't feel a lump, that lump is natural, that's just a little, fatty lump, you're fine. And they couldn't see the lump on certain tests and all the rest until I would show them where it was. And it was kind of because I think I was going through such pain. I kept thinking it was my lymph nodes. Oh, it's in my lymph nodes. So my GP said, look, wait until after everything and we'll then check you. So I went for an x-ray on yesterday, to a different hospital in Edinburgh, and I had the x-ray. So on the way back, I've been looking for, believe it or not, organic fruit and veg since I've been here, and it's so hard to get. Aldi, Lidl, Tesco, they all do like maybe a cucumber and maybe broccoli or something. They don't have an actual organic area like in Ireland, Aldi and Lidl do a lot of organic fruit and veg. And Scotland, I even rang the Glasgow market that all the shops go to. You know, it's for people with shops, whatever you call it. I rang the Glasgow market, and the guy was lovely, and he just said, look, we don't really, he said, you'd have to go to a farmer's market where people bring their own vegetables. And he said, that's an odd one here and there, but he said, we don't in general. So it's not a big thing here. So then I had to Google shops. So I found a couple of shops that looked good. And when I came out of the hospital, I put it in my maps, the one that I wanted to see. And I went to it. And so I got wild nettle diluting syrup, so cordial. So that's my wild nettle, right? And then I got this. I have my tea here. Sorry. I have my tea here. And it's my yogi tea, which I love. Sorry, I'm really thirsty. And this one is really nice. It's called Choco. And when I saw Choco, I was like, oh, chocolate tea. I was so excited. And I love yogi tea. It's organic. And I do like my herbal teas. Now, I'm not like one of these that lives on herbal tea. I have lots of herbal tea because I just love herbal tea. I do, but I do drink normal tea. I mainly drink caffeine in the morning, and then I drink, like, I'd have 1 to 2 coffees in the morning, and then I have, and just powdered coffee, and then I have maybe a caffeinated tea, maybe 1 or 2 of them, and then after that it's decaf normal tea, or then I go on to maybe these, and I do drink a lot of diluted syrups, like, you know, kind of cordials as well, to try and get water into me. I'm not very good at drinking fluids, to be honest. But this one is an Ayurvedic blend with cocoa shells, licorice and cinnamon. So it's actually, it has this like chocolatey, spicy licorice. It's really, really delicious. So if anyone's into, you know, your herbal teas and you would like to try something different, the Choco, I've never seen it before, and I was so delighted. And so I got a few organic fruits, and I didn't really get vegetables because I have some of them, and I got a couple of things in the shop, and came home, made a fruit salad for me and my friend who came over, and it was absolutely delicious. But it was so expensive. The shop is really expensive, and it's in a really, I said, where? Oh, and the girl was Irish, actually serving me, and I did ask, oh, and I got happy eggs as well, but I did ask when I was there, like, what area am I in, because it was for something like almost £5 to park my car for the hour just in front of the shop. So I got my use out of it. I walked my dog up and down the street and then went into the shop. But she was a lovely girl, and she was saying I was in the Grange. The Grange is a really wealthy area. Oh my goodness. And then you've got the Grange Road, which I went to school on the Grange Road. So did my mum. Then you've got St. Catherine's Park, and my friend's called Catherine. And then there was, there was a really funny one called, I won't actually say, I'm not going to say. There were funny sounding roads with different names on them anyway. But it was really interesting. And so that was like a little day out for me, to go to a different hospital and then to go to an organic shop. It was lovely because it was like going into a health store for me, and I just love fruit and veg and all those different things. Like, my whole life, that's what I've been interested in. I love food. Anyone who knows me, I love food, and I love good food. And so, but it's very unaffordable, and you know, and especially in my situation at the moment, it's not. But you see, because of my situation at the moment and being financially broke, I I've been eating very unhealthily, and it's just, it's not good, because the main thing they say in the hospital is eat really healthy, eat your fruit and eat your veg and eat your whatever, and a lot of like good protein and things like that. Now I'm vegan, so but you see, the thing is, everyone thinks because I'm vegan I'm very healthy, and I am to a certain extent, but then I'm also not, because I do eat rubbish as well. But you know, I am trying. And the thing is about, I was saying, I put on the weight. I'm so far from a gym here. There's nowhere, like, I mean, at home I was 3 minutes from my gym. So there's no gym. I do walk my dog, but I've been so tired and so, I haven't been well the last few days, and my body's getting used to this tablet again. It really damages your body if you do get the side effects. If you get the side effects, this is terrible. But I'm just hoping that this drug will help me. And what I do every day when I take that tablet is I pray, and I ask that God blesses my tablet. And the Archangel Michael protects me from, you know, anything that is not of the best, you know, use of the tablet. I always just ask that I'm protected, and so that's how I take my tablet. So it's been kind of a weird one, because I was so delighted to get my news, and I know I'm still waiting on my radiotherapy, and that I'll have my first, well, not my first appointment, but my consultation next Friday. So I'll know more about when that is. I think I'll probably only have 5 sessions, to be honest, which is great. But I think when they do the 5 sessions, they're kind of concentrated radiotherapy. I've been kind of looking into that a little bit. Radiotherapy in itself has all these other side effects. So, but I'm just very grateful, and I'm still waiting. So I now am waiting on my results of my shoulder. It has been torturously sore. I mean, the pain is unbearable, and it runs right up my arm and underneath and down my arm and everything. And it's not frozen shoulder, but it could be one of those other things. But I'm hoping anyway it's something that they'll give me exercises for, and I'll be okay. I'm hoping it's like I don't have muscle loss there, because, you know, for a few years now it's been in a lot of pain, and I used to have really strong arm. I still use it a lot, because I don't want to not use it and lose the use of my arm. I used to always say, and I was thinking about this, I used to always say, oh, I'd give my left arm to do this, or my left arm for that, or my left arm for to live in a mansion, or be able to afford to buy a house, or give my left arm to go there. So I'm hoping like the universe hasn't been listening to me and say, right, well, give us your left arm. No, I don't think so. Let's hope. But otherwise, you know, look, I've been really enjoying the weather. Oh, I've been really enjoying the weather. It's been amazing. Today it's raining, and yesterday was kind of a bit of a weird one. It got I was cold last night. I get cold anyway. But the thing is, then comes the loneliness, you know, of like, just not knowing still kind of what's ahead and what's going on. And my doctor just wants me to heal, and she said my most important part of my getting well is to stay calm and relaxed, and to try and get the stress out of my body. So I have a lot of stress in my body. And then actually, I was thinking of something the other day as well. The end of October, I checked my phone, actually, it was the 30th of October. When I'm in Ireland, I'm involved in loads of spiritual things, like, you know, drumming and meditation and talks on spirituality and all that kind of thing. And I really missed it when I came here, you know. I was trying to find something, and I'm here now a year and a month, a little over a year and a month. And I was only thinking yesterday, I'm only beginning beginning to feel somewhat, I can't say settled, but somewhat familiar or something. I can't describe it. I'm only starting to settle in myself. And, you know, but so when I came, I was looking for all these things, and I was asking people, I was looking up, and everything was like, you know, in Glasgow, more in Glasgow than in Edinburgh. And I was looking, and like it was an hour and a half drive, and I was like, remember, I was suffering with such high anxiety. I've never experienced anything like my anxiety that I had from September on. I mean, ever. Like, that's why I couldn't go home. Since December, I haven't been back to Dublin. I started having panic attacks in the airport and had to sit down, and was afraid to get on, like, just really. And then I found going home to the house, just the panic. And I do everything on my own. Like, everything is, you know, I'm always single. And you know, so I do everything on my own, and then I'm not in touch with my family. So like, I wouldn't be meeting anyone in the house there that they'd say, oh, I'll meet you when you arrive or whatever. So I'd rent a car and I'd go home, and being in that house where me and Mum lived for years, I miss her, and it's horrible. It's like, it's not a nice feeling being there without her. It's and then her not knowing that she would just love to be in her home, and I'm there and she's not, and there's guilt around, you know, me agreeing with the family to just to kind of say, yeah, you know, maybe this is best for her. And I don't know, because she lasted for so long with me, kind of in great form. And, you know, I think once she went into the home, that was it. I think both of us, her and me, just gave up. Like, I didn't have a purpose, really. I mean, my mum was my purpose. She was my life. She was my everything. She was my mum. She was my soulmate. She was my, you know, companion. She was my everything. And I know there are people out there who will relate to that, whether, you know, and I do know that some people who are married and have kids and everything else, their mother was their everything. She's your go-to, no matter how old she is, or even if she's getting forgetful, she's your go-to. She's your rock. She's just that person who's been there from the day you were born, you know, if you're that fortunate. So I was looking for something, and I was just so anxious and everything else, and so I couldn't drive. I attempted to drive to a place called Shotts, which is Edinburgh, or is Glasgow, and I did go there, and I got Reiki done, this woman. And then so then I went to this other place, and oh my goodness gracious me, she was kind of, it's funny because she was saying things like, you know, she said, look, I don't do healing. I don't really do. And I said, look, I just want something. I said, I know my body, I'm so stressed that I'm afraid I'm going to give myself cancer. I'm so just, my body isn't, it's this constant state of anxiety that, you know, I'm in fight or flight 100% of the time. Like, my body's not getting any respite, so I really need your help just to kind of try and clear me of something. And she said, okay, well, you know, but anyway, she did me because she heard my story that I'd just come and I was not feeling great. And, you know, and the girl who suggested her said, you know, I told her a little bit about your story and she was willing to see you. So she did see me, and she then read my cards. So my cards were, I said to her, she said, excuse me, have you any questions? And I said, should I go home to Ireland? Should I stay here? Should I live in Glasgow? Should I live in Edinburgh? Should I go to London? Should I go to the south of England? Should I go to Spain? Should I go to France? Should I go to, like, Northern Ireland, the west coast of Ireland? Like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck here, you know. And I was saying, like, and this is before I knew anything to do. I knew I was unwell, and I was getting help with my anxiety from the GP and stuff like that, in the sense that they were aware of it, and I was I mean, I was reaching out for help as much as I know how. I was going to mass. I was going to church. I was going to the Church of Scotland, and I was getting involved a little bit and all of that. I was just seeking and searching for peace and tranquility. I was praying. Oh my goodness, I was praying morning, noon, and night, and everything I'm sure has helped. But I went to this lady anyway for this healing thing, and it was only a few days ago that I thought about this. She was, she was kind of doing this healing around my body, and then she was saying, she was going through my ages, and she got to a certain, and then she said at 16, something really bad happened to you, and then she said, and when you were 18, something really bad happened, and then when you were whatever age, something like, traumatic. She was going through all this, but she stuck with the 16-year-old. And if you've listened to my other videos, you'll know what happened when I was 16. And she said, and she said there were two incidences, and she was trying to clear it, and she kept saying, I'm trying to clear it, I'm trying to clear it, I'm trying to clear it. And she could clear this side of my body, and she couldn't clear this side. And eventually she was doing all these things I wasn't familiar with, it was just kind of, drumming and sounds and healing and, kind of clearing the air with the smoke thing and whatever else, and I knew it was going to do me good. I knew it was going to do me somewhat good. And I had faith in her, and I believed in her. And she kept saying to me, there's something here, and I can't get rid of it on your left-hand side. I've done so she stayed for ages, and she was like, there's something here, and I can't get rid of it. And she said, I won't get rid of it today. It's not budging. And I believe today that was my breast cancer. Isn't that unbelievable? So she was able to do everything else, but there's something there. That happened to me years ago, and I went for healing, and they found something around my womb area, and I had precancerous cells, and I had to go for an operation. Funny, well, not funny. And then she did my cards, and the cards were like, where should I go and where should I live? And she just was completely blocked. She said, they're not telling me anything. It's just, so it's like you're stuck here, but it's not telling me to go anywhere or leave here or go anywhere else or anywhere. And when I think of it, sure, I had to stay here I was going to be diagnosed with cancer, and I was going to have to stay in Scotland. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm very delighted to have had the help and to be having the treatment I have here. It's absolutely amazing. I met another girl from Cork, and she was here and got cancer, and she said it's absolutely amazing. She got amazing treatment. Within 2 days she was sent to somewhere another. They send you to different hospitals if the others are busy. I think it's like that at home, but I mean you're seen to instantly here. It's unbelievable. My shoulder, I was told to ring for the x-ray. I rang on Thursday, and on Friday I had an appointment for an x-ray. Like, unbelievable. And I have to say, over in Ireland, I was to have a bone density test before they put me on HRT. But because they said it'll take a while, we'll put you on the HRT anyway, just to start you off. So I think it's 3.5 years later, I got a text a couple of weeks, well, probably about 4 weeks ago, saying, do you still want your bone density test? Like, ridiculous. So I'm still waiting on that in Ireland. Obviously I won't be going for that, but so it's just, I know I'm very lucky to be here. I know I'm so lucky to be here. And I'm in a wonderful village and all of that, but I do feel very isolated, and I really want to see my mum. I really want to see my mother. And I just have this anxiety about it, and I'm just exhausted all the time. And I find traveling exhausting anyway. And again, anyone who knows me knows that I would travel the world. I'd go, if somebody said to me, would you mind going over to Australia and bloody, I don't know, give somebody $10 and come fly back, I'd do it. I wouldn't even question it or be nervous. But there's a lot of emotional stuff attached to my mum. And, you know, for me, my mum going into the home and me leaving the home, it literally was like a death. It was literally the end of an era, the end of, and it was the end of everything, because my mum, I knew this would happen, but once my mum was gone from the home, be it going into a home or through passing away, I knew that I wouldn't see my family anymore, because the only reason I saw them was because I lived in the house with my mum. So I knew that would be gone as well. So so it's kind of a lot of loss and a lot of change. But I know myself that this is a huge lesson in life for me, to not rely on myself, but to really reach inside myself and to trust, for me, my thing, to trust in God. And, you know, God is either everything or God is nothing. So I choose that God is everything. I don't feel like a holy Joe at the moment, but I usually am, to be honest. I love calling into churches, lighting candles. I love all that. I love the ritual of my religion, really. I'm spiritual. I say I'm religious only because I believe in my religion, in the sense of I believe in Jesus and Mary and Joseph and all of that. I believe in that story, but I don't practice. And the only reason I don't practice is because it has always made me sad going to the church, and I've always gone to the church on my own. So I just find it a little bit sad. So I did try and get into stuff here, and then I pulled back again. But then I'd wake up, like the services here are very early, and I'd wake up, and it's not like me because I'm an early riser, but I'd wake up not feeling well and really exhausted and all of that. So look, that all might change, and I just, you know, wish I could be in a gym and doing a little bit more at the moment, but it'll all come to fruition at some stage. So I just wanted you to know where I'm at. It's a little hiddly biddly, but I'm okay. I'm doing okay. I'm having a tired day today. I had a full day yesterday. As I said, I was in the hospital, and I was in Edinburgh, and went to a health store, or an organic store. I was so excited. And that, like, for me, is my excitement. It sounds very sad. The day before, I was absolutely and utterly drained. I couldn't move. Monday and Tuesday, Monday, I didn't remember Monday. It was like a blackout. And but I actually had gone to Peebles to let my friend's 3 dogs out to the toilet. And so I did that on Monday, but I didn't remember. I kept saying, I don't know what I did on Monday. And then on Tuesday was just, again, a complete, couldn't do anything. Like, you know, just, I didn't go outside the front door. I just didn't do anything. So I can potter in the back garden, and I can do that, and I can eat, and I can cuddle my dog and cuddle my cat, and I'm very blessed to do that. So I just wanted to reach out and say hi to everybody, and you know, to anyone who's messaged me, I will get back to you. I have just not been feeling, you know, I haven't been feeling very energetic, but I've also been feeling a little bit emotional, I suppose. Emotional for many reasons. Emotional for reasons of, like, things I've shared recently, that I'm glad I shared, but knowing that there's a backlash to everything, of course, and also just getting messages from people, and that in itself bringing up emotion. nice emotion, but sad as well, just people reaching out, and it's so lovely. It just touches me. And then I think because I'm so sensitive, there's been some friends who haven't been in touch, and of course, I'm thinking, oh my God, did I say something to offend them or whatever? And I know most of the time, 99% of the time, it's literally because they're busy, or there's no reason. It's fine, but yeah, so I'm just very, I'm very lucky, and I'm very blessed, and so everything is okay. Except I'll be on this thing for the next few years. I'm determined to try and really give it a go. You know, if it's torture, they don't expect me to stay in it, but it does really help. And so the radiotherapy thing, as I said, is next week. In 6 days' time, I have that consultation, and in 10 days' time, hopefully 10 to 14 days, I'll have my X-ray results. And another couple of weeks, I'll also hopefully have my uterus results. My gosh. And then it's just about just getting fit and healthy, and just getting back out there and exercising, and trying to eat healthy and shift this weight. And I don't beat myself up for putting on weight at all, because I know it's a phase, and it's just nothing fits me. Actually, nothing fits me. Nothing. And my friend, I know this sounds weird, but my friend's granny gave me a pair of trousers, and they're lovely. They're brand new, but she got them, and she just said she didn't like them, and she just said, look, they're going to a charity shop or whatever. Do you want them? Like, they're brand new, tag and everything still on. Marks and Spencer's. Said, yeah, why not? Try them on. Size 14, and they were too tight on me. So I have to just try. I literally, if somebody said, I'll get you a whole new wardrobe of everything that fits you, I wouldn't care. But it's just nothing fits me. And, so I'm going to try and just get my life back. But it's easy. I'm very gentle on myself, in one way. I'm just going, you know what? Chill. Like, chill, Neve. It's okay if you wear leggings and t-shirts every day. Because I just need to get well. I just need to get well, and I will, and I am, and yeah. So I'm sorry I haven't been around. It's just I wasn't feeling great in every way. I just felt, a little bit sad, and a little bit yeah. And then today I just felt a little bit lonely. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? That was the whole reason. The last thing I'll just say to people is, if anyone wants to comment or private message me, either or, it doesn't really matter, and just tell me, what memory would they like me to talk about, or what age would they like me to talk about. So what age, and I can go through that year of main events. Or is there a particular memory? I don't know, like they might say, oh, Disneyland Paris, living there, or living, or whatever it is. So that is something that, might give me more direction on where to go and what you want to hear. So sending you loads of love. Have a fabulous Saturday evening and weekend. I might be in touch with you tomorrow as well. Okay, lots of love. God bless. Bye.